course, as expected. They always had different perspectives concerning what they thought about how Nigerians have been treated in China. The National Quarantine Act of 2004, what becomes of the powers that are going to be given to the NCDC for vaccines. Well, let's get to them now. We've got two of them, Honourable Uzoma Kemabonta, former Chairman, House Committee on Public Accounts, as well as Honourable Benjamin Mzondu, who is also a member of the House of Reps. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today on the program. Let me start with you, Honourable Abonta. You had reservations about the National Quarantine Act of 2004. Could you tell us about it?
Oh, yeah, sure. Good morning. I have serious reservations and concerns to raise. My worry is that the Quarantine Act, as we're operating now, is also encompassing and was designed to take care of emergencies and situations like this. However, the act sought to be repealed now and reintroduced in a different name seems to grant so much powers to the operators of the disease control, to the extent that if done the way couched, we may all lose our rights to a lot of things. More so, in this present time that we are being, there are several postulations and teachings and all what about the world new order and all concerns and all whatnot. I do not think that that act will address our COVID problem, particularly in the short term. What we need now is what will help us solve this problem in the shortest possible time. Assuming, not consenting, that President Buhari signed that bill yesterday, will that end COVID? No. So how can you now give somebody a right, for example, to immunize us at will, to give us vaccinations, whether I want it or not? The act proposed went, or the bill as proposed, went too far in giving so much powers to the NCDC that they can say that the whole channel is now quarantined. Nobody comes in or out, depending on how he thinks. And you have no objection. The act also said they can introduce measures and all whatnot. I object particularly to section 3, 6, 8, 15, 30 of the proposed bill. They are dangerously couched that if it's allowed to go on, then all these scandals we are hearing on networks and all whatnot about Bill Gates and their vaccination and chips and so on appears to be a reality. Because the speed too, which we came for, that's why I said that direction is better than speed. We try to jump rules, even though the rules were suspended, which is also normal in cases like that, to do first, second, third consideration on a particular day, as contained in our order paper. I said no, the speed looks as if there could be things in it. I do not consent, in as much as we do not want disease, that somebody should be given right and powers to seize me at any point in time and give me vaccinations that I do not want, that I don't intend to, and so on. We should have a say. That is why I was of great concern that we could not do 55-page documents within 2 hours and pass it. Legislators should be allowed to look at it, go home and digest it, and then come out with a proper opinion. And if possible, do a public hearing and hear what the experts, what the public, what the people whom we are representing, what are their views. In fact, if you are doing a bill, are you not supposed to refer back to your constituency? What do you think I should do on this and so on and so on? So
all right, because we know that when that point was raised, there were responses to it as well. But pardon me, we'll come back to that in a moment. But Honourable Nzondu, are those valid concerns for you?
Yeah. Good morning, Chamberlain. Good morning, Nigerians. Those concerns are valid. As members of the House of Reps, there was no form of inclusiveness. We know that drafters of bill can have 1 or 2 issues. They might not be comprehensively correct. Inputs of members are needed. But our major concern yesterday was 4th, 2nd, and even the 3rd reading, we had no access to the details of the bill. You know, the Quarantine Act is long overdue for repeal. And the leader of the House, which is the ordinary person of His Excellency, the Speaker, thought it wise to bring up this matter because it has become overdue to have this act repealed. That is very correct. And the person of the speaker is also a very learned and very high personality in the country. And he brought up this bill, but for want of one or two logistics, the document was not made available to members to look at it and look at the clause by clause and then bring in valid inputs. This is a bill we are making for the future of Nigeria. And as a result of that, a lot of members had concern. Myself, I had concern that, look, this document, we need to look at it, look at the clause by clause, particularly with the issue of the public perception, the vaccine chip certificate and all of that. What is in the public space now, we must be careful what we do. This Quarantine Act, is the one we are operating now, is a colonial document made since 1951. And if we have to repeat with a new document, we have to consider that document very carefully. So that not that a bill is passed and then after 1 week we are coming up with amendments here and there. And like Honourable Agbonta rightly said, we got hold on the document yesterday and the document seems to confer so much authority in NCDC